everyone. My name is Hal. This is Quail Studios Guitar. We are starting. How you doing today? What guitar is that? That's the name of this live stream. Let me find my notes here. There they are. This is kind of a Q&A. Oh, excuse me. Kind of a Q&A today. I don't have a song to teach, although hello, Dermot. It's good to see you. I don't have a song to teach today, although we could teach a song if we really want to. Started out with a song that a friend of mine wrote. A lot of times people say to me, "What guitar is that? What guitar are you playing?" And a lot of times I'm playing this particular guitar. Let me see what it looks like on my screen. There it is. Don't want that light to... There, let's get it on there. It's a Blue Ridge. Rosewood back and sides. Actually, this is not. These are not solid wood rosewood back and sides, but this is a solid spruce top here with a rosewood fingerboard, I believe. And the reason I wanted to say that, hello, Bob. How you doing today? People say, you know, what kind of guitar is that? This is a Blue Ridge triple aught BR73. And I want to talk a little bit about guitars today. I want to talk a little bit about your guitar and, you know, what's going on with you and how to pick a guitar and that kind of thing. And that just these ideas. As I started to do a little research for this, I got deeper and deeper and deeper into it. And it's like a rabbit hole that just never stops. So I'm not going to be able to answer all your questions. If you have any questions, hello, Marilyn. Hello. Thanks for coming along. I haven't seen you for a while. It's great to have you here. There's, you know, when people say, what guitar is that? I think a lot of times what they're thinking is they're listening to a guitar that you're playing online and they're thinking that sounds awesome or that looks awesome. Or that person is awesome, and so, you know, if I get a guitar like that, maybe that will help me to be awesome too. And that's very possible. Although it's not always exactly the way life works. Hello, Lisa. How are you? It's great to have you here. Also, Todd Property. It says, Toddy Property. What time is it there? It is 12:09 p.m. I'm in Idaho in the USA. And where are you at, Toddy Property? Let me know. I know that Dermot, where are you, Dermot? What time is it in your place? I know that some people are from Ireland, and I see you, Hal, there. Yeah, I see you too, Lisa. Good to see you. Let's talk about guitars again and a little bit about what makes a good guitar and that kind of thing. We're going to talk about scale length. We're going to talk about woods. We're going to talk a little bit about pickups. We're going to talk about neck feel. We're going to talk about the size of a guitar. Lisa, in fact, the one she's outside of the USA. I think she's on vacation. She just asked me the other day, you know, what would be a good travel guitar? Well, we talked about it, and I made some suggestions about what I thought would be a good travel guitar. And there are different kinds of travel guitars, and you can find Indonesia. Oh, boy. Toddy Property. Very good. Thank you for coming. Hey there. Greetings from Boise today. Hello. Idaho a go-go. Melcor. Very nice. How do you say that? Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, we're not very far away from each other. We might be about 40 miles away from each other if you're in Boise. Okay. So what happens is that we have to pick a guitar that's comfortable for us. And let's talk a little bit about this particular guitar just for a second. This is what we call a triple-aught size. And I'm going to share with you my screen. Let's see here. I was going to see if you can find out. Now, in the description, if you look in the description of this video, you'll see a link for short scale guitar lengths, ultimate guide to guitar scale length. You'll see a link to short scale basses. You'll see a link to the Blue Ridge guitar. I'm going to show you in just a second. I'm going to show you a link to, there's a link to something called Ellen Plays Bass. Ellen is a little girl. She's like 10 years old and plays bass. She's awesome. There's a link to Lucas Imbiriba, whom I've been looking at. And we're going to talk a little bit about his guitar. We're going to talk a little bit about Ellen's bass guitar. And it has to do with this. Okay, let's just dive into it. I like this neck particularly because it's a good feel neck for me. When I first found this guitar, I was in a room with about 40 guitars, and a student of mine was looking for a guitar, and he picked this guitar up and he tried it and he put it back and he's like, I don't really like that one. And I looked at it and I thought, that's kind of a neat looking guitar. I didn't really think about the, like the fanciness of it or anything like that. I just listened to it. I thought, that sounds really good. I played it, I picked it up, I played it. I thought, this feels really nice. I just really liked the way it sounded. I like the way it resonated right here. I like the size. This is a triple-aught size. If you've never understood about different guitar sizes, there's something called a dreadnought and a jumbo and a triple-aught. And anyway, different kinds of, you can get, what's it called? Somebody write down what kind of guitar size you have. So there's a, okay, it's just gone out of my mind. Let me do a quick search right here. Okay, here's a guitar sizes chart. I'm going to look this up really quick. And let's see. Your guide to 10 guitar sizes. Guitar sizes, ultimate guide for 2020 with 15 examples. Let's click on that and see what we get here. Yeah, let's look at that. Okay, this says guitar sizes, the ultimate guide with 15 examples, and it says ukulele, guitalele, or guitalele, half size, 3/4 size, travel, classic, parlor, concert, grand auditorium, grand symphony, dreadnought, and grand orchestra. Okay, so it goes through here and talks about the half size, the 3/4 size, travel guitars, classical guitars, parlor guitars, concert guitar, grand concert, auditorium, and what it all means. Look, there's no pictures. I thought there would be pictures. There's a jumbo. Does guitar size matter? Let's talk a minute about guitar size and if it matters. And yes, guitar size does matter because the bigger the box, so to speak, the bigger the guitar is here in the body, the boomier it's going to be. And the smaller it is, the less boomy it's going to be. But there's this place where when the guitar plays, right, there's enough boom that you want, and then there's enough high. How much do you want to have come out? Right? And you can also plug your guitar in, and you can do different things with it. Here, something's on my screen. Let me get rid of that there. That was not the best site that I wanted to look at. But the smaller the size, I've got an Eastman Grand Auditorium. Excellent. Grand Auditorium is a really nice size. Let's pull up Lucas Imbiriba. Let me see if I can find him here quickly. I'm going to let you hear a little bit of his his playing.
Washington State.
Well, that's not what I want. Can get rid of that. Gonna go to here. Just be patient with me today, okay, guys? There we go. All right, here's Lucas Imbiriba. And
hello guys, what's up? This is Lucas Imbiriba, and today I'm very excited because Gibson guitar.
okay, so he got this new guitar, and it's a Gibson.
Wow, this is an amazing guitar,
Check it out.
and it's quite light. I think that the body of the guitar is a little bit smaller than a dreadnought. I mean, it's meant to be a parlor guitar, but it has the shape as if it were a little, like a small jumbo somehow.
Okay, right there. You can see it says Gibson Parlor Rosewood Antique Natural AG 2018. So this is a parlor guitar. It's got like 22 frets on it. It's got a cutaway, which is really nice. Let's go in a little bit farther.
Amazing. There's no.
Okay, one thing I really like about this guitar is the size of it. From the nut right there all the way down to the bridge, we measure what we call the scale length. Let's talk a little bit about scale length for a second. Let me get rid of this. Because what happens here is that when we have a guitar and the scale length here, we actually measure it from the nut to the 12th fret, and then we double it, and that's the scale length. So what happens is that this guitar has a 25.5 inch scale length, 25.5 inches. And all my guitars have the same scale length. I didn't realize this. I've got my classical guitar right there. It's an Ibanez Classical. I'm going to tell you exactly what it is. This is a 2862 Ibanez Classical. Right there. It was made in 1976. It's got a 25.5 inch scale length. I really love it. It's a great guitar. The guitar in back of me, that one back there, that's a hold on, that's my Yamaha 120 SD. That's my electric guitar. It's got a 25.5 inch scale length. Now, Fender guitars have like a Strat, and I believe also a Telecaster have a 25.5 inch scale length. And also, let's go to somebody else here. Let's see here. I'm looking for someone. That I pulled up. Oh, where'd he go? Where'd he go? No. That's not what I want. I know it's being a little slow.
Beautiful. All right, guys. So I'm gonna play something.
Oh, here it is. Okay. Oops. I'm showing you all my secret stuff, aren't I? Okay, here's John Mayer playing his PRS.
But if anybody was asking for advice on how to sort of find the promised land for themselves on the guitar, my advice might sound a little unfun, but it's that everything you learn, well, that's G, pentatonic. So you can, or it's really, I'm playing it sort of a major pentatonic, but C, 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 see? So whatever you learn is the tip of the iceberg.
So what I'm showing you there is John Mayer, and he's playing his PRS Silver Sky. It's got a 25.5-inch scale length. Now, there are different scale lengths, and if I were to get a new guitar today, I think I would get a shorter scale length. And one of the reasons I would do that is because I broke my hand. This knuckle got broken in 2013, October 2013, and I didn't realize it for about 3 weeks. I mean, it hurt, but I could move it without hurting. The only time it hurt is if I push on my finger like that. And I went to a specialist, and he said, yeah, well, sometimes, you know, this is really important, especially if you're an artist, and you know, you break your hand, you know, you lose a 1/16 of an inch or something, and then all of a sudden you can't hit certain notes. And he said, you know, we can fix your hand, we can re-break it, and my hand, you'll notice that it works really well. You know what I mean? I mean, the finger goes straight and all that kind of stuff, and I thought, no, I'm just going to live with it because it doesn't really hurt anymore, and it's just not that big of a deal. I'm not going to take get a, what's the word that I want? I don't want to get under the knife and have it get messed up. So I'm okay. But you know what? Now I think I would go for a 24.5-inch scale length. And Gibson guitars, and the one that I showed you with Lucas, his is a 24.5-inch scale length. All right, where'd it go? That's one thing I really like about his guitar is that it does have such a short scale length. All right, I'm bringing back up my YouTube here. I got to look at my history and pull this back up, and I'll show you. Let's see here. Come on. Okay, this is Lucas Imbiriba, really a long time ago. Let's go to his channel and let's look at a couple of things. Let's see here. Malaguena, Classical Gas, Desperado, Stairway to Heaven. Let's see. Oh, Sultans of Swing. I think this is the guitar. No, wait, maybe it's not. Yeah, this is the Gibson. Okay, something's going on there. How's my stream's bitrate? I look good. Love from India. Hello. Dermot, I have just got my first electric today. I went to practice some lead solos. Have Martin GPCX 2 acoustic and a beautiful dread handmade by a fantastic luthier from Northern Ireland. Oh, excellent. Claren McNally. Very, very good. You got an Eastman Grand Auditorium, Melkor. Very good. Greetings from Boise. Yeah, I already said that one. Okay. So, yes, I was just looking at that. Now, if you look at some of his, what he's doing here, it looks like he has huge, huge, huge hands, which he does. He has a really nice hand position. Oh, right there. Check it out. Okay, if I count this, he's got his finger on the 3rd fret. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he's spanning from the 3rd fret all the way up to the 8th fret. Right there. Can you do that on your guitar? Now this is a 24.5-inch scale length from the nut to the bridge. And so it's a little easier than on mine, because on mine, if I go from the 3rd to the 8th, it's really difficult for me, right? Because I've got a longer scale length. My scale length is an inch longer than his. So maybe if I had a shorter scale length guitar, I could actually do that stretch. I'll show you that stretch one more time. Right there. See that stretch? It's a huge stretch. Of course, he's got a really nice hand position and all that kind of stuff. Beautiful hands. Yeah, and so scale length has something to do with that. All right, let's get back to... I'm going to close that down. Let me show you another video. Let's see if I can find her. Oh, by the way, okay, I'll share my screen again with you. This is the BR73 right here. It's a $975 guitar. You know what? I didn't buy my BR73 for $975. It's a little different. I actually got it for about $500, and the reason I was able to do that was because the guy that I was buying it from was closing his shop, and he's like, I just want to get rid of this at cost. And so I bought it. It took me a little while. I had to borrow it again and decide if I really wanted it or not. Okay, let's pull up one more thing here. No. That's going to be in the wrong place. All right, you ready? Why am I bringing up Ellen? This is Ellen's story. It's called Ellen Plays Bass. It's awesome. She is amazing. Now, this is a short scale bass. It's probably a 30-inch scale length, which is, let's see, is it 30-inch? Yeah, I think so. Maybe it's even shorter than that. You'll notice on my right back there, I've got a couple of basses. Those are 34-inch scale lengths. They're huge. In fact, Ellen's might be a lot smaller than that. But she's awesome, and she has a lot smaller, because she's like 10 years old. And this particular video that I was showing you, I think she was 9 years old at that point. let's go to her channel. Let's see. Here's she's 10 years old. She's playing For Whom the Bell Tolls. Check it out. You like her green strings? Okay, we're going to stop there. Let's see. Let me get back to so you can see my face. You can go check out Ellen. She's awesome. She really is. Here, I'm going to get rid of that. Anyway, so go check it out. What else do we have to talk about? I guess what I'm trying to say here, and I guess this has taken a long time for me to get to it. Maybe I'll edit this video and get to it a lot faster next time. You need to decide what kind of guitar you need and you want, because every guitar is different. You can get different sizes, you can get different scale lengths, you can get different woods. Let's see here. Where's my... I've got some notes here I want to look at. Oh, right here, yeah. You know, this particular guitar did not have a pickup in it when I got it. I put a pickup in it. You can see that it's plugged in right there. And I plug it into an equalizer. I plug it into a GE7. It's a Boss equalizer. I plug it into a Hall of Fame 2. It's a TC Electronic Hall of Fame 2. That's what gives me the little echo, like that. You know, take the echo off. Take the equalizer off. Now I'm going to turn the equalizer back on. See that? And then also I'm going to turn the Hall of Fame 2 back on. And that's all I've got. And then also you can hear it, this guitar, through this mic. The transients come through better with this on. When you see me working with this mic, then this is turned on. I usually have it plugged in, and then I also have, of course, the guitar coming through this mic, which is better. Okay, so now the equalizer, I could show you my settings on it, but I'm just bumping the mids just a little teeny bit. That's all I'm doing. It just bumps the midsection. But it really makes a big difference just with that little bit of bump. George James says, I can't decide between a 1 11/16 nut or a 1 3/4 nut. There you go. That's a good question, because the nut width on here makes your, you know, what it means is that your fretboard is going to be wider. That guitar right there has a 2-inch nut. It's a 2-inch fretboard, so it's a lot bigger. And this one, I think, is 1 3/4 or 1 5/8. I don't have my tape with me right here, so I can't check it. You have to decide, right? You have to, and sometimes the only way you can decide is to get the guitar and play it for 2 years, and then you decide. I had a Taylor 510 for a couple of years, and I decided I hated it, and I got rid of it. I just didn't like it. You know, it was a nice guitar. Gosh, it was a $3,000 guitar. I had a Gibson SG Classic. It was like a 1969 model that I got rid of, but now I regret that. I used to have an Ibanez Artwood Dreadnought that I got rid of. It was an okay guitar. I don't have my first Ibanez acoustic guitar anymore. Unfortunately, I sold that a long time ago. I don't sell guitars anymore, though. Even the ones I don't love, because I find that they are just, I might regret it later, so I don't do that anymore. I've got my Godin fretless back here, the A4, right back there. And that's a beautiful guitar. It's a fretless bass. I used to play cello, and so I decided to get a fretless. I've got my Ibanez bass, my GSR 190, right in back of me, back there. Somebody gave that to me, and I had it fixed up. And a couple of my guitars that I actually have kind of fell into my lap, and then I had them worked on. And that's something that you can do too. If you have a guitar that's not perfect, you can get the neck worked on, you can get it straightened, you can get a new nut, you can get a new bridge, a new saddle, you can get new strings. And that's one of the reasons that my guitar actually sounds as good as it does, is because I put new strings on every few weeks. And so, you can do things to make your guitar sound awesome. All right, is there any questions or any other thoughts? George James says, isn't a 1 11/16 better for strumming? You know what? Hold on just a second. Hold on. I don't know about 1 11/16 being better for strumming, but the wider your neck is, the wider your neck is, the better you can get your fingers in there to be able to pick it, finger pick it. So also playing with your pick, personally, I don't know what this is. I just feel it, and it's like, oh yeah, that feels really good to me. This is kind of a skinny neck to me, and I love the way the back feels and how it's not too rounded. It's a little more flat. A lot of times Ibanez guitars have a little bit more flat, and this, of course, is a Blue Ridge. Question, do you find the older Taylor guitars are brighter? This is from Mike. What happens is that if you have a solid wood guitar and you play it a lot, I don't know if they get bright. Well, let's see. Oh, you're saying the older Taylor guitars are brighter. They might be. I'd have to get them side by side. A new Taylor, but every guitar is different. It really is. One time I went into a shop and I was going to buy a ukulele, and I said, "How many ukuleles do you have?" And they said, "We have 8." I was looking at a Kala ukulele, not a really expensive one, like $125. I said, "Bring them all out, all 8." So I brought them out. They put them out. I tuned them all up, and I started playing every one. And I picked one ukulele that I wanted out of those 8. Sometimes you were like, this is a little dull. I put it aside. This one doesn't, I don't really like the way that it feels or something. I put it aside. They were all identical models. They weren't different models. And I just picked the one I wanted. That's important. So when you say older guitars are brighter, maybe. I don't know. I would play an older guitar and listen to it, feel it, see what I think, compare it to other guitars, and make a decision. How has radius come into play? Bob asks. Radius, does anybody know what radius is? Radius is when you have a curvature to the neck right here, and you can look that up, radius of the neck. What's the different radiuses? It's the little curve. Some guitars have more of a radius than others, and I don't really pay attention too much about radius. I don't think about it too much. That guitar right there, that classical guitar, has no radius at all. It's a flat neck, and classical guitars, that's the way they are. But acoustic guitars, electric guitars, basses, and that kind of thing, they usually have a radius to the neck. You'll just have to decide about the radius. I haven't done a lot of study on radiuses, so I don't know how to answer that. But understand that it does come into play, and you'll have to think about it yourself. Let's see. Lisa asks, how often do I need to change strings on guitar? And Mike says, good question about string changes. I play daily and don't know how often to change strings. I'll buy your Taylor 510. Sorry, it's already sold. It's gone. Yeah, no, it was a really good guitar. But I sold it probably, 5-8 years ago. Anyway, string changes. That's a really good question. When I was first starting to play guitar, I would be playing guitar for like 6 months or something, or 8 months. And I would notice that my strings were starting to get a little dark. In fact, I don't know if you can see it here, but there's a little darkness coming in on different parts of the strings. And I was playing, I'm thinking, do I need to change my strings? I don't know if I need to change my strings. Went down to the guitar store, bought some new strings, came home, put it on, and I thought, oh, whoa, this is amazing. That sounds great. And then 6 to 8 months later, I'm like, I wonder if I need to change my strings. I didn't break strings. And I'd change my strings and I'd be saying to myself, wow, this is amazing. This is great. This sounds wonderful. Well, as I got to be older and, playing a lot, especially gigging, and when you get new strings, I always stretch them like that. And then I, have my tuner. This is a TC Electronic Unitune. I love this thing. This thing is so good. Not that expensive either. See, that one's a little, I don't know if you can see it. It's a little low. When I stretch them like that, they go low. They stretch out. I can usually stretch out a set of strings like this for a gig in just, 20 minutes, half an hour. Just stretch them, and I retune it, stretch it, retune it, stretch it, retune it, until it gets a lot more stable, and they stay in tune a lot. I had the last steady gigs that I had down in St. George, Utah, when I was playing at a restaurant there. I would change my strings, play on Friday night, play on Saturday night, and if I played 2 days in a row, basically the strings sounded fine. If I tried to play 3 days in a row without changing strings, all of a sudden I noticed that my strings were not tuning as well. They weren't tuning as quickly. Sometimes what happens is when your strings start to go, you'll be playing along, you'll tune it up, and then you'll play a chord, and you're like, how come that doesn't sound very good? Now these actually sound really good. But I would notice, there's something wrong here. Open, when I play open, it seems in tune, but when I start fretting notes, now this one, now watch. Okay, that one's in tune, I think, yeah. See how it's a little sharp right there? When these strings are newer, they don't do that. They are more in tune when I fret them. So I started to notice that it was going a little bit out of tune. A little bit out of tune. Hey, thank you, Dermot. Don't forget, give me a thumbs up, guys. I only have 3 likes on this, and I got 63 views and 11 concurrent viewers. Everybody hit the like button for me, please. It'll bump up. Thank you very much. So what I would do, I noticed that when I was regularly gigging, that I would change my strings like after about 10 hours of playing. And then my strings would be really in tune. They would tune really well. They would play really well. And I'd be on top of my game. Now, strings are not that expensive. Like these are Diodarios. I use 12s and 11s. I'd have to look up the numbers, but you can look them up. Sometimes I use 13s, like on my Baby Taylor, I use a 13. But what happens is that if I let my strings go too long, they just don't sound as good, and I notice it really quickly. Now, you may not be able to notice that, but what I would recommend is that if you're playing on a set of strings if you're playing every day, especially if you're playing like 3 or 4 hours a day, I would change my strings like every 3 or 4 months, minimum. you could probably go longer. But if you break a string after a few months, change the whole set. Just do that. Whole thing. Don't even say, oh, maybe I can keep going with these other strings. They sound okay. No, just change the whole set. That's better that way. So when I'm gigging, I'll change my strings every day or every other day. If I'm teaching, I might let it go for 6 weeks, right? Sometimes longer, depending on how much I'm playing on them. If it starts to bug me, I'll change them. These are starting to go, so I better change them. Anyway, does that answer your question? What else is out there? Hey, thanks guys. I got 2 more likes. That's great. Anybody else out there? If you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel, because I'm at almost 91,000 subscribers now. I'd like to hit 100,000. I think that'd be fun. It's going up every week, and I get a few subscribers every day, like 10, 12, 15, 20, 30, or something like that. And one of these days I'll hit 100,000 probably if I keep going. All right. Any other questions? Oh yeah. Also, I had a question. How much do you practice, and how much should I practice? I practice as much as I can, to tell you the truth. And since I make videos and teach, I don't practice as much as I would want to if I was just really getting into it. But how much? A few hours a week. I like to practice an hour a day if I can possibly. 2.5 hours is better. 3 hours is even better every day. But sometimes I don't have time to do that. George asks, what do you think of all the solid wood guitars that are out for only around $600? I forgot what brand was. Recording King, I think. There are a bunch of guitars out there with solid wood. I don't have an opinion about solid wood guitars for inexpensive. I think that's awesome if they sound good and if they're a decent guitar. This guitar has a solid top, right? Has laminated back and sides, but it sounds beautiful, sounds wonderful. So I didn't fret about it. It was like, I'm gonna get it. That guitar right there has all solid wood, rosewood back and sides, spruce top, all solid wood guitar. I have to keep it humidified so it doesn't crack. All solid wood guitars are harder to take care of for sure. If you have laminated guitars, those are the most durable, but they are easier to take care of. You don't have to worry about them so much because they don't just crack when they get dry. I keep my guitars in a room that has about 45% humidity. That's not this room here. I take my guitars out of this room when I get done recording or when I get done doing a live stream, put them in that room because that's usually where they sit most of the time. Okay, any other questions or thoughts? Sorry, Mike, you can't buy my 510. Oh well. Appreciate having you guys here. Oh yeah, drop C tuning. Somebody asked me, what about drop C tuning? Drop C tuning is interesting because it's like a drop D tuning. Here's a drop D tuning. Right? Right? You drop that E down to a D. George James asks, how did your plumbing job turn out? You remember that? It turned out great. My son came over and helped me with it. I'm going to tune to drop C. That's a C. Now, I've actually gone down. Everything's down a whole step. And this one is in drop C. The problem with using the same strings for standard tuning or drop D tuning and then going down to a drop C is that it gets really squirrely. If I was going to do this all the time or for a gig, I would probably put 13s on this instead of this. These are 11s. This is a drop C, drop D tuning. This is a Recuerdos de la Alhambra. Haven't played it forever. It's a little buzzy. And this would be a little easier. That little stretch that I have there would be easier on a shorter scale guitar. All right, I'm going to go because I've got people I'm going to hang out with for a few minutes. And I appreciate you all being here. It's been really great. Hope you learned something. And hope I answered some of your questions today. So if I was going to go into drop C tuning like this on this guitar and do a recording, I'd put heavier strings on. Definitely. Practice as much as you want to. If you practice 5 hours a day, that's really good. You really get a lot of practice in. Not all at once, of course. You can break it up 2 or 3 times, 4 times. You know, and like practice for an hour and 15 minutes and then come back and do it again. I love to practice. How did your plumbing turn out? Oh, okay, I already asked that question. All right. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate you being here. That was really fun. Take care. I'm going to go. I've been here, Josh. I've been here. How long have I been here? I don't know how long I've been here. I can't tell. Oh. Long time. Like 50 minutes. All right, I'm going to go. See you later. Take care. You're welcome, George. What happens normally is that as soon as I hit the in-stream button, there's somebody asks a question. I'm like, oh, bye-bye. George, thanks.